Now at 10, 2 local firefighters are injured after battling a blaze in Joplin. Plus, Brush Creek Golf Course in Columbus holds a tournament to raise money for Freedom Fest 2025. And
with new movies breaking box office records, movie theaters are having a comeback. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
People in Webb City left without power last night after a blown transformer. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Anthony Saviello. Reports last night coming in of a blown transformer causing residents to lose power. Multiple traffic signals also not operating last night. Liberty Utilities was able to restore power by around 11 p.m. No reports of power outages have been made since power has been restored. 2 firefighters have been injured after battling a blaze in Joplin today. Reports came in around 2 p.m. this afternoon. The fire department reported that smoke was visible from Station 1. Heavy smoke and flames were said to be coming from the 2nd floor of the residence, the house being reported as uninhabited. 1 firefighter was treated on scene for heat exhaustion. Another one, after he grabbed a hold of a railing, it broke and it caused him to fall. Arrest reports from Missouri State Highway Patrol show that Michael T. Denny was arrested on July 5th for driving while intoxicated. The 51-year-old serves as the fire chief of the Nevada Fire Department and the emergency manager director as well. The fire chief was reportedly responding to an active fire scene driving a City of Nevada vehicle. He was transported to the police department, cited for a DWI, then released. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures are cooling down to mid to upper 70s right now, but we are dropping down to the upper 60s for our overnight low tonight. So it's going to be a pretty cool night. Winds are pretty calm, and we also have overcast conditions continuing for the rest of the night. Even some rain chances popping back up throughout the remainder of the evening and through tomorrow. We do have a few still pop-up storms, mostly north of Pittsburgh near Nevada, Fort Scott, but overall, again, we're going to mostly stay dry, still pretty cloudy. We do have more rain chances in the forecast due to Hurricane Beryl as it makes its landfall and starts to shift a little bit more northeast, going through Arkansas, but we're going to get a little bit of that rain, and we'll talk about it in just a bit.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Get your popcorn ready because moviegoing is back on the rise. After concerns surrounding the future of movie theaters following the pandemic and rise of streaming services, recent box office numbers show that people are still looking to sit in front of the big screen. KOAM Samantha Walker has more.
Through the pandemic, it was rough. It was worrisome, for sure.
Since 2020, many movie theater owners across the country have worried about their future. According to a report by Statista, national box office ticket sales dropped drastically following the pandemic. And with the increasing popularity of home streaming for films, it seemed as though theaters were losing their place as a popular activity.
When they had the actors strike, didn't help matters either. And that kind of slowed down production, so it kind of messed up as far as the movies that we were getting as well.
But recent data from the box office shows that moviegoing is back on the rise, despite the popularity of streaming.
You can really you feel immersed in it. It's easier just not waiting. If you really want to see one, you don't have to wait that long.
Last year's summer films Barbie and Oppenheimer helped spur a movement of attendance, with Barbie grossing more than $1.4 billion worldwide. And this year's Inside Out 2 is following suit, grossing more than $1 billion in its first month and becoming the second highest grossing animated film of all time in the U.S.
We were happy, and I know the studios were too. It's been really good so far this summer.
For local theaters like the Plaza Theater in Lamar, the high-grossing films are a happy sign.
It's great to see people back in the theaters. Finally we've got some really good movies and families are coming out enjoying them, and it's nothing like watching a movie in a theater. Just streaming or TV just doesn't do a movie justice, in my opinion.
He hopes to continue filling seats in front of the silver screen for years to come. Reporting in Lamar, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
This summer, the Plaza Theater is offering free admission to its kids' summer vacation movies. Those screenings take place every Tuesday and Wednesday through August 14th. Brush Creek Golf and Grill is hosting the second annual Freedom Fest Golf Tournament. The tournament, which is put on by the Columbus Fire Department, is a two-man scramble tournament consisting of 18 holes. Each participant getting a mulligan and or a extra shot for all you non-golfers out there for the entire tournament.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never golfed. Today's my first day. I just wanted to get out and be in the community, so I'm here to play, and so we'll see what happens.
We just have about 32 teams signed up this morning to do a golf scramble. It's a jump start to the fundraiser for our Freedom Fest fireworks show for 2025.
Awards were given out for closest to the pin and first and second place overall. A vigil was held Friday night for a St. Louis man who was shot in the head while at his wedding reception. Police say two armed men attempted to rob him in the backyard before they shot him. A week later, he remains in the hospital sedated, and his wife hasn't left his side. Justina Coronel has more.
We're having a mass in Francisco's honor to ask for his healing.
Their hope is for healing.
We're a family of faith, and we've always come here.
Parishioners pray at St. Cecilia Catholic Church in South St. Louis. Family put their faith forward for Francisco Gonzalez. The church is their safe space after their lives were endangered a week ago.
Prayers is the most important right now, and we just need help getting these people off the street. We're still asking people to help us with any surveillance footage in our area of these two individuals.
Yari Beth Peña was in her sister's backyard last Friday for a wedding celebration. Her little sister Dulce married Francisco after 10 years together. After the ceremony, police say two armed suspects tried to rob them in the backyard and shot the groom in the head.
He's in critical condition.
Peña's family has been comforted by the community's camaraderie.
We're grateful for all the people that are helping us.
Father James Mickler,
we hope that people will realize that there is a great deal of power in prayer,
leads the crowd trying to bring light in a dark time.
We're happy to welcome people who have come from other countries and pray to God and be part of the community in their own language.
A mass and a vigil is their vow to Francisco, pouring their love into him to push through.
Prayer's everything to us.
Family leans on faith and on each other for Francisco.
A GoFundMe has been set up for the family and has raised more than $31,000. Coming up, President Biden is back on the campaign trail amid calls on both sides of the aisle for him to drop out. And later, Hurricane Beryl is inching closer to the southern United States. We'll tell you how people in Texas are preparing. Today, there's new evidence skepticism among President Joe Biden's allies is widening. CBS News sources tell us that at least 4 more Democratic congressmen called on the president to drop out of the race during a meeting with House Democratic leaders today. CBS's Natalie Brand has more.
Mingling with union members in Harrisburg and volunteers.
We got a lot to do, folks, but we can do it.
The president is trying to prove the viability of his re-election campaign and joked about his age while speaking before a friendly audience at a church service in Philadelphia earlier Sunday.
And I know I won't look like I'm 40 years old, but I've been around a little bit.
But across this battleground state and even within this campaign event, voters are divided.
I love you, Joe Biden. I worked hard on your campaign, but I think it's time for you to step down.
Are you worried about President Biden's ability to continue his campaign?
Not at all. And I think for him to leave the race at this time, so close to the convention, the Democratic convention, it would be very confusing for a lot of people.
I do think the clock is ticking.
Allies of the president describe a critical week ahead as lawmakers return to Washington and discuss next steps.
I wish he could jump up the steps on Air Force One. He can't. What we have got to focus on is policy.
The performance on the debate stage, I think, rightfully raised questions among the American people about whether the president has the vigor to defeat Donald Trump.
CBS News has learned that during a call Sunday afternoon with House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, several senior House Democrats said they think the president should exit the race. That's in addition to the 5 House Democrats who have put out public statements. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
A little later, crews in California continue to fight against spreading wildfires.
And we do have rain chances continuing for the next couple days. We'll talk about it in just a bit. Well, overall, today was a pretty good day. We did have a cold front moving through, so winds shifted out of the south to out of the north. Taking a look outside at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Looking pretty good, overcast conditions, and it's going to get pretty cool tonight. We're dropping down to the mid to upper 60s for our low tonight. We've got a few more rain chances still in the forecast. The cold front is still making its way through. You can see where the cloud lines up just south of Joplin. Again, we may still have some rain pushing through tonight. And then in the next couple of days, as Hurricane Beryl makes landfall tonight on the Texas coast, it's going to start to move northeast. We're going to get a little bit of that rainfall. That's not coming until Monday night and into Tuesday. Until then, like I said, we still do have some rain chances over the next 24 hours. Spiking at about 6 a.m. We'll have some rain pushing through Joplin Metro. All of these rain chances are mostly isolated to southeast, just south of Joplin, south of Pittsburgh, and it's going to be east and southeast. So not all of us are going to get a lot of rainfall. It's mostly going to be half of us, so 60%. It's going to drop back down for the early morning hours on Monday, and then it spikes back up again afternoon Monday and through the rest of the overnight hours as we do start to see the remnants of the hurricane moving through our area. Taking a look at the future track, so we're going to flash forward to about 5 a.m. We have the rain pushing through, like I said, again, Joplin and southeast through the area, and then after that we'll have a few isolated showers still popping up. So this is 10:30 in the morning just north of Bentonville. Then it's going to continue on. We're starting to see some rain showers pushing through for the outskirts of the hurricane. This is later in the afternoon. And then we start to see that tailspin up into Benton County, so about 9 p.m. on Monday. We're going to go ahead and track that hurricane as well. Before it makes landfall, it does become a hurricane again. Right now it's a tropical storm, but it is going to become a Cat 1 hurricane right before it makes landfall. This is going to be about 1:30 in the morning tonight. As it moves inland, it's really going to fall apart pretty quickly. It's not a strong hurricane, although still damaging, and we'll keep everybody on the Texas coast in our thoughts and prayers. It's going to continue to move north through Arkansas. Then about 8:39 p.m. is where we're going to start to see the outskirts of that hurricane moving some showers into southern counties. It's really going to be mostly isolated to Missouri and Arkansas. So if you're in Kansas or Oklahoma, likely not going to see any rain from this, but that's okay because Joplin, Monette, that's where we're seeing those moderate drought conditions. Everywhere else is just dry. So we definitely need the rain over in Missouri. That's going to continue until about 5:36 a.m. on Tuesday. So from about 9 to 6 a.m., we're getting those heavy rain showers. Those are going to really help with our drought conditions, about 10, 12 hours of pretty heavy showers. It does clear out Tuesday morning, so the rest of your day on Tuesday is going to be looking pretty good. Relatively cool, and we say about average for the rest of the week until temperatures spike again next weekend.
All right. Thanks, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
More than 10 million Americans are in the path of Beryl tonight as it crosses the Gulf of Mexico. The storm is expected to regain hurricane status before it makes landfall along the Texas Gulf Coast. Jason Allen is in Port Lavaca, Texas, where the storm is expected to make landfall.
Texans are heading for higher ground. Ben Boone and his daughter Beth are packing the truck and leaving home in Port Lavaca. The city is along the same stretch of coast that Hurricane Harvey slammed in 2017. This time it could see storm surges high as 6 feet above ground level.
This neighbor here, he stayed for Harvey, and he said it sounded like the roof was going to come off. Okay. And so he was like, I'm not doing that next time.
Outer bands of the storm are already dumping heavy rain on cities like Houston. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has issued a preemptive disaster declaration for more than 120 counties.
You don't want to be on the road tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a bad day for weather.
Beryl intensified to a massive Category 5 hurricane last week, causing at least 11 deaths in the Caribbean. On Friday, the storm crossed the Yucatan Peninsula, weakened but strong enough to topple structures and strand tourists at the airport. Back in Texas, beachgoers kept a close eye on the storm as they enjoyed the last days of their holiday weekend.
I'm obsessed with the cone. The cone of uncertainty. Every time it updates, I'm like, where's it at?
It was just a couple of weeks ago that people here were dealing with all of the rain and the flooding from Tropical Storm Alberto, and they know this is just the beginning of the hurricane season. Jason Allen, CBS News, Port Lavaca, Texas.
Fire crews are hard at work in the western United States battling raging wildfires. Many residents are now evacuating to get away from the danger. Kayla Moeller has more.
Crews battling the Pay fire by both ground and air. What started as a small spot fire on Pay Dirt Road has exploded into an over 75-acre fire with zero containment.
Yeah, there was a firefighter in my yard as I was getting some stuff, and it looks like we are to be out of here.
This man was on his way to Tahoe when his phone started blowing up with notifications of a fire near his house. He turned around to grab the essentials before evacuating.
And within 25 minutes I was home and grabbed personal belongings, computers, personal documents, a couple of mementos, made sure my family's safe and my pets are out of there. I got some dog food, I got a dog bowl here.
The fire even made its way over to the Placerville airport. One couple was there checking on their plane.
They were flying so low, he got fire retardant on the plane and he had to duck under the wing. So they're working hard.
The smoke woke me up.
A relaxing Saturday turned to chaos. Firefighters battling the blaze and the heat as temperatures were in the triple digits. We spoke with a battalion chief earlier who says it's been all hands on deck with aid from neighboring cities and multiple helicopters doing water drops.
Not something you want to see in your own town. Appreciative of the firefighters. They're amazing. They're working hard and it's hot. It's really hot out here, so they're doing a great job.
Coming up in sports, multiple players will be representing the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals in this year's All-Star Game. Plus, the Joplin Outlaws cap off the weekend with a series finale against Abilene. We'll have the highlights and more up next.
The Joplin Outlaws enter this Sunday on a 4-game losing streak. Joplin looks to avoid the sweep, playing in the series finale against Abilene. Joplin has only won two of their last 7 games entering the night as they face the Abilene Flying Bison. Early on in this game, Lucas Van Landuit out of Pitt State picks up a couple of early strikeouts. Abilene led 1-0 after the first 2 innings of the game. We go to the 3rd inning now. Jack Q elevates this baseball deep to left field and it leaves the fence for a 3-run home run. Abilene jumps out to a 4-0 lead to start this game. We go to the bottom of the 3rd now. Outlaws start to battle back in this one. Local kid Brett Sarwinski hits one deep to center field and it's caught for the out. However, a run does come into score for a sacrifice fly. Joplin gets on the board. It's now a 4-1 ball game. We go to the 4th inning now. Missouri Southern baseball fans may recognize this name. Will Doherty smashes this one and it lands in the bleachers for a 2-run homer. But the bats cooled off after that. Abilene goes on to flex their muscles and the beatdowns, they beat Joplin 16-4. Well, the MLB All-Star Game begins next week, and on Sunday, full All-Star rosters were released, and a handful of Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals players are heading to Arlington. Well, here's a look at the latest MLB All-Star reserves from the Royals and the Cardinals. Kansas City sends 4 players to this year's All-Star Game. That includes starting pitchers Seth Lugo and Cole Reagans, where they were each selected to their first All-Star Game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez joined them as they were selected as position players. Then the only other player that's representing the St. Louis Cardinals this year is relief pitcher Ryan Helsley. Cardinals versus Nationals in Washington, D.C. Game is tied up 2-2 in the 4th inning. Nolan Gorman hits an RBI single to give the Cardinals a 3-2 lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Check out this play here by Mason Wynn. A beautiful flip of the glove turns into a 6-4-3 double play. Check out the replay here. Great defensive stop keeps St. Louis in the lead. The Cardinals led 4-2 in the top of the 5th. Ducks on the pond for Nolan Arenado. That brings home a couple of runs here with a 2-out RBI single. St. Louis now leads 6-2. We go to the 7th inning now as Wilson Contreras comes up, and well, he's been on a heater in this series and he stays hot right here. This one's hit deep to left field, and see you later. Cardinals go on to beat the Nationals 8-3, the final score. Out west in Denver, Royals versus Rockies. Michael Garcia uses the thin air to his advantage here. That's gone for a 3-run homer. Royals lead 4-0 in only the 2nd inning. We head to the top of the 7th. MJ Melendez, take a good look. You won't see it for long. A mile-high solo home run puts the Royals in front 5-0. Kansas City leads 7-1 in the 9th inning now as Bobby Witt Jr. hooks this ball fair past the foul pole, and it's a 3-run Bobby bomb. Royals beat the Rockies 10-1. Well, that's your look for sports. We're back with more after this.
Twin pandas, Rubao. I'm sorry, give me a second. Rubao and Hubao celebrated their first birthday on Sunday, and you got to finish this, Lindsay.
Celebrated their first birthday on Sunday at Everland Theme Park in South Korea. Specifically designed birthday cake made of bamboo, coarse cornbread, and carrots were prepared for the twin pandas. Rubao and Hubao were born on July 7th, 2023 at Everland.
I'm sorry.
We'll go ahead and do a weather wrap. So we've got rain chances in the forecast until Tuesday. Tonight and tomorrow, it's mostly just going to be scattered thunderstorms, isolated thunderstorms. But as we move into Monday evening, that's when we're going to start to see the effects of the hurricane moving into our area.
And final sports note.
Yeah, some big recruitment news. Out of Coffeyville High School, Keaton Jones, he commits to the University of Missouri, so he joins other 4-staters like Talon Chandler and Whit Hafer, so congratulations to him.
All right. Awesome. That's it for tonight from all of us here at KOAM. Have a great night.